Yeah, the Q&A.
towards the
I
end
wish
of
I was here for that. Oh my god. I definitely would have added my own questions. Thank you, Luckback. Okay. This is just like parts of the trailer. Gameplay deep dive. This is the meat. That was... Holy smokes. This is going to be great. I'm excited for this. Starting soon. Okay, this is the... Have you guys not seen the trailer yet? Who here has not seen the trailer for Diablo 4? You want to see the wackiest, most wild shit ever? This trailer was crazy. We're going to watch the trailer. We're going to get everyone in the mood for Diablo. If you don't like gore, don't watch this. Don't watch this part. It'll only be like 2 minutes long. Yeah, Diablo 4 is out. This is for the expansion. The expansion comes out in 3 months. And so this is like the big announcement for the details of the expansion. Let me take this off.
Boy, young one. Are you?
She's holding a fap stone.
You are
Oh
right.
my god, what is this?
Nerel?
Only the truly degenerate among you will understand what I'm saying with this.
Oh, you're not well.
Luke Perry! No way, that's awesome.
Please, my child, let me help you.
Stay away from me! Nerel! Is that how I raised you?
So, for anyone wondering, in the base game of Diablo 4, the Fap Stone holds the soul of Mephisto. So it's not good. And that's why she's having like these crazy, freaky visions and stuff like that. She's just this random kid that you met in the story of Diablo 4 who ended up becoming like, you know, one of your main sidekicks and a real big driver of the story. And the voice that you're about to hear and hearing right now is her mom. And her mom, in the very first act of Diablo 4, tried to kill her and sacrifice her to like the demons and stuff. So there's a lot of baggage here between her and her mom. And her mom is obviously not alive. So.
No, Mother. But I must carry this burden alone.
Oh, yeah. And she helped kill her mom. She helped us, the player character,
Akarat's
kill her
tomb.
mom.
But look at you.
Oh, that's your
You're
stone. Yeah,
killing
exactly.
yourself. I don't know how much longer.
So for anyone who didn't understand my reference, by the way, do you guys want to know the ancient lore? Do you want to know what the Fap Stone is? Are you morbidly curious, degens, or should I just not go into that? If you guys don't want to know, I will just happily move on. Have you decided, Lucifer, you don't have to end on theology? It's Mephisto in here. It's definitely Mephisto in here. Yeah. It's, I don't know if they have Lucifer in Diablo. I think they do. I'm pretty sure they do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. Okay, so, the Fab Stone is a little old story of the internet. At the advent of the internet, I'm old, so I know the original lore of the internet. And there was a little known site called 4chan. And 4chan is a degenerate, horrible place full of, like, you know, the worst racists and shit like that now. And it used to have some of that back then as well, but it has much less of that back then. And it had much more of, like, the weird, like, dudes, like, just being fucking weird. And the Fab Stone was a story on there, and it had pictures, so I don't know how much of a story it was and how real it was, where it was this quartz stone that this guy had, and his friends, he and his friends would jerk off on the stone. And the stone was quartz, and they would see how much lighter it could get. That's the Fab Stone. And so when I saw this stone, it was like lighting up. My brain, of course, immediately jumped to the Fap Stone because I'm a horrible degen. That's the Fapstone, guys. That's the lore that you needed. There you go. There you go. I'm happy to elucidate some information to you guys. It was nothing good. It was nothing good. But yeah, that's the Fapstone. Yeah. It's yeah. And also they would have like each one of them would have stones, and they would like be they'd be rubbing their stones thinking of their friends. It was a great time with the internet, guys. It was back before the internet was super racist, and back when the internet was just super fucking weird. Yeah, not the Blarney stone. Yeah. Different stone completely. Different stone completely. Yeah. I'm pretty sure if you found the you could probably still find variations of that story. Like, I'm pretty sure. Like, this is old internet lore. Like, this is the OG memes before they were called memes. Yeah. Anyways, going back to Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred.
I can't. I'm here, little magpie.
Oh, she's so nice. I hope nothing bad happens.
So much.
No, she's so
I'm
sweet.
So proud of you.
Yes.
But now,
No.
I need you to give
She looks fine.
up.
Uh-oh.
No.
Is she? Yeah, no, she's not fine
I'll
in any
save
way.
you.
This is all bad.
You monster! Let go of me!
That scream sounded so good and so real. That was a real scream. So one thing you need to know about Diablo 4, or, well, Diablo in general, Diablo is super grimdark. At its best, Diablo is like absolute sheer grimdark. Everyone is dying left, right, and sideways. Human are just cattle for, like, you know, the freaking demons out there. And you're like one random guy standing against the darkness. That's what it is. You never have to apologize, Leebly. We're always goofballs in here. You never have to apologize. Diablo 2? Yeah, Diablo 2 is one of the best games of all time, pretty much ever. Diablo 2 and Diablo 1 are like giga grimdark. Like, if you look at in a breakdown of the story of Diablo 1 and 2, ooh man. Tristram has been dead like for ages by the time Diablo 4 came out, Mr. Lily. Yeah. Tristram was Diablo 1 and 2. Like First Neverwinter? Yeah, like First Neverwinter. Well, more grimdark than Neverwinter. More grimdark than Neverwinter. Absolutely.
Go. No. You made a choice. And I warned you, little man.
That gets worse.
There would be consequences.
Oh. My hand tingles every time I see that scene. Actually, not even this one. This one. The one that's actually injured.
No! I control the stone!
The stone.
She holds the Fapstone.
Nothing.
Yeah. Okay. For anyone worried about the gore, you don't have to worry anymore. That was it. That was it. Pinhead? Oh, dude. The Pinhead movies?
Maybe
Those were
you're
great
right.
movies. I love those.
Maybe I could use some help.
He's just hanging around. He's just hanging around. Little casual tree growing out of him. She looks back, she's like, huh. Okay. Oh my god. I love the little, like, detail of all the fish dying. Like, dude, the Diablo 4 animation crew just always cooks. They're so good. They're so good. Yeah, Lemonitis. Dude, I mean, you can look at this trailer and know. Well, if you've played the other Diablo games, you know that she is going to end up being corrupted by the stone and we're going to have to kill her. Like, that's going to happen. the chances that doesn't happen in the expansion are like snowflakes in hell. It's almost certainly going to happen. She will get corrupted by the stone. We're going to have to like literally murder her. She'll lose her mind for most of it. She'll remember who she is at the end of the fight. She'll remember her humanity, and she'll like die as a human. And oh god, it's going to be fucking sad. Yeah, that's exactly what they're going for. At least if I was writing this, that's where I would take it. But I think that's where they're going to take it. I'm pretty sure. I'm not usually wrong about these things.
Hello, Diablo community. I'm Adam Fletcher, Community Director for Diablo.
Okay, I know
Welcome
this guy. He's been in a lot of things. Here, I'll move my head. There it is.
to our Spiritborn showcase, where we're doing...
Wait, where's Jim and where's Sleepy Jim and the other guy? Joe. I think it's Jim and Joe, right? I don't know.
A deep dive for this all-new class coming to Diablo 4, which will
They're like the
include
normal
a series
heads.
of interviews, followed by Q&A from Twitch chat. I'm joined here today with Game Director Brent Gibson.
Thanks, Adam. We've been working hard to make something unique for Diablo.
Okay.
And we're finally here to actually talk about it.
Brent, I can remember
Jim no
us at
longer game
BlizzCon
director?
where we showed
I
off
thought he was
our
game
very
director.
first cinematic for Vessel of Hatred. Now we're actually here to showcase the Spiritborn for the first time. We're glad to have you back for the full reveal.
Thanks. We've set out to make an all-new class that comes from the jungles of Nahantu, an apex predator with a deep connection to the spirit realm. So, without
Weird.
further ado, let's kick off this deep dive to the Spiritborn.
Only a few among my people can become Spiritborn. As children, the most promising face judgment in the mist. Our trial begins and ends with pain.
Okay, this is the entire trailer that we just saw, which was dope, but we already just saw it. So let's go to the actual discussion. Oh, Mr. Lily, that's awesome, my friend. What class did you pick and what class did they pick?
Wow, and there it is, the first look at the
That is wonderful.
Spiritborn, the apex predator from the jungle.
Games bring people
Awesome
together.
To finally show it
Always.
off, and what an incredible trailer.
That's the best part of
To talk
gaming.
more about the Spiritborn, we would like to introduce Eleni Rivera Colon, narrative designer on Diablo 4. Welcome, Eleni.
Oh, she cute.
Thank you.
Sorry.
I'm really excited to be here to talk about the Spiritborn
She is
class.
cute.
I'm also a little nervous.
It's okay. We're
Okay.
live. We're doing this live here for everyone.
Human warrior, me
but
too.
Obviously, Eleni, we just saw here in the trailer with the Spiritborn, and we saw a little bit about that spirit realm. Can you tell us a little?
I
bit
always
more
call it
about
like it
what
is,
that spirit
Lemonice.
realm is?
Yeah, so I mean, to put
Bro.
it plainly, the Spirit Realm
Hey!
is a place where spirits
It's
go.
true.
It's this deeply spiritual place
Okay.
that's a byproduct of Sanctuary's creation. So
If
as-
she's responsible for the narrative of Diablo 4, she's done a good job. Because the narrative for Diablo 4 is, in my opinion, a lot better than Diablo 3. I like the narrative for Diablo 4 so much better than 3. So I think she's done a great job writing the ship. I don't think it's perfect by any means. Like, I think, Diablo 1 and 2 are just way too close to perfection. But Diablo 4 is quite good narratively. I really like it.
as you may know, the
Unironic
angels
W.
have the high heavens, the demons have the burning hells, and we have the Spirit.
This is Diablo. Right here. This is Diablo. Just like random humans in the middle, basically being pawns for angels and demons. This is Diablo. Yeah. Yeah, I found out, Liebly. Bob Newhart was one of my dad's favorite people. Yeah. Yeah, he was very sad today. Yeah, it is sad. The good thing is, I mean, it's like hard to say a good thing, but like the relative good thing is, I mean, he lived until he was 9 to 5. It wasn't like, God forbid, like a car crash or some random shit. It was just like, old age. He had a very full life. He was a very good guy. Very funny guy. He for anyone who doesn't know who Bob Newhart is, he was one of the original legends of TV. Made a lot of TV shows, made a lot of comedy, and he always basically specialized in playing like the straight man in a comedic duo, and he was like perfect at it. He was so good. But yeah.
We're hearing a little bit about the high heavens and the burning hells here. And
Yes.
players have actually seen both of those places
We have.
specifically. What does the spirit realm actually look like for players?
Yeah, we really love this concept that the
A little
Spirit
faster.
Realm is shaped by humanity. So if that's the case, the foundation of that would actually be Sanctuary.
So what I was showing in the trailer, what we're seeing in the trailer, it was like a parallel. That's exactly what they were going for. Hey, there we go.
You could imagine being in the middle of the jungle and you're surrounded by these tall trees and these ancient.
Oh, that's the secret, Lemonitis. In Diablo, in the world of Diablo, Diablo is so grim dark. Even the angels are assholes. Like, dude, everyone who played Diablo 4 was like, man, Inarius is a dick compared to, like, even the main real villain, which is Lilith. Like, it's just, everyone hated Inarius more. Inarius was the angel.
And when you cross over the veil into the spirit realm,
this is
you're
regular.
going to see a ghostly reflection of just that. The big key difference is that you're going to see all.
That's cool. This is cool. I love how they did this. This is a really cool idea. The spirit world just being a sheer, like, parallel.
The
reminds me of, like, a lot of movies and stuff.
Yeah, there are these.
Like, one of the things I love about Constantine is that hell is not, like, you know, a different place. Like, it's just straight up, like, a completely, like, it almost feels like a post-apocalyptic wasteland version of the normal world. It was so cool.
Massive creatures that protect the realm.
This type of trope is always I'm a fan of.
They protect the realm and the spirits from corruption. So the Spiritborn class have this harmonious bond and connection with these massive creatures that are called the Spirit Guardians, and they work together toward the land.
You know, it's awesome to hear about the Spirit Guardians, and you know, people saw them in the trailer a little bit there. Can you actually tell us a little bit more about, like, who these Spirit Guardians are?
Yeah, so if the spirit realm is shaped by humanity, we love the idea that the Guardians are formed from human belief. And so if you're trying to survive in the jungle and protection is a thing that you are pouring all of your beliefs.
So I guess that's why each animal corresponds to specific traits of humanity. Jaguar is like ferocity, and you know, the protective nature is like the gorilla, and so on. That's cool. That's cool. Wait, does that mean that it's just Hogwarts houses? Like, it's just a feeling on Hogwarts houses now. Because, like, what is the poison? Poison is what, just death? Or, like, I don't know.
Your hope into that belief it's magical. It's got power in itself, and it can actually create a creature that represents that. It could represent protection.
Yeah, so as Brent is saying, the Spirit Guardians are this complex creation of Sanctuary's creation along with this powerful human belief. And Spiritborns devote their entire lives strengthening this.
Death. Oh, yeah, maybe like the even nature, the give and take of life and death. Yeah. Games for you. Hope you're having a beautiful night, my friend. Welcome. Join the giveaway. Giveaway's active.
Incredible bond, because these Spirit Guardians are powerful. It's this idea, right, of what these gods look like, and so they can help protect both the realm and the Hantu.
You know, we saw in the trailer and some of the gameplay, people were, you know, if you're playing the Spiritborn, you can actually summon one of these in there. Is that something you can do on demand? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, you know, very early on in concepting, we saw this one piece of a simple warrior raising their staff above their head in this massive spirit.
I told you, Rage. Yeah.
And that really became the lightning rod to a lot of thought-provoking ideas. I mean, we knew what we wanted to do mechanically with the class, but that image really solidified that the idea of summoning a god into battle was really cool. And that actually became the cornerstone for a lot of our development from then on out.
Yeah, so talking about Spirit Guardians and summoning them, the Spiritborn class can summon 4 Spirit Guardians. The first one that I want to talk about is Razoka, and this Guardian manifests in the form of a Jaguar. Okay. So the belief of courage and ferocity, striking on the hunt, attacking a kill with no fear or reservation.
Gryffindor.
The second one is Balazan, appearing as this massive centipede. Okay. The belief is balance and persistence. So although some people...
Balance and persistence. I was right. What did I say, guys? I said the balance between life and death. When I said I used to write, I wasn't kidding. I know my stuff. Blind-O-Matic, how you doing, my friend? Welcome.
People might see it as fear. It represents harmony and balance, so the give and take of life. And then we have Quatli. The manifestation of this is a majestic eagle.
Yeah, I don't know what the eagle would be. Eagle would be speed, alacrity, the lightning. Lightning is I don't know. I don't know what else it would be, because, like, ferocity is already the Jaguar. So what would lightning be? It can't be ferocity twice. I'm not sure.
Right, so to represent awareness and finesse, soaring above it all, having awareness of its surroundings.
Awareness and
intent.
finesse. Interesting.
And then the last one is Woomba. This guardian manifests.
Woomba! Oh my god! The gorilla is named Woomba. That's an okay. We're definitely going gorilla. You know, we gotta escape humanity and go back to Woomba. It's the only way. It's the only way. Woomba is the best name as well. Straight up the best name out of all 4.
In a powerful
Woomba.
gorilla, so this beacon of protection and strength, and a movable force that holds its ground and sustains under pressure.
So it's great. We've
Woomba!
heard a little bit about the spirit realm. We've heard about these 4 awesome guardians. Like, can you tell us a little bit more about the kind of star of the show now?
Back to the roots,
Spiritborn
exact
itself?
Levinitis. Return to
so
monk.
I think before we really dive in, I want to talk about Akarat, who's really important with the Spiritborn and the spirit realm. For those who don't know, Akarat is this prophet that believed in the human experience.
Bro, he's a prophet with a fucking Zweihander. That's badass.
And that it gives us this unique power. We have this light within us.
Okay.
And that light gives us the ability to question and to doubt and to challenge. When Akarat made his way to his mother's homeland in Nahantu, he felt this strong otherworldly presence. And he would spend a lot of time with one of his apostles, Isavete, trying to uncover what this mystery was. What was this feeling when he got to the realm, or when he got to the land of Nahantu, until he eventually discovers this veil. And that's the veil between the spirit realm and sanctuary. And he realized that this was this untouched place from neither angels or demons. They had never really had any sort of influence there. So Akarat and his dedicant Isavete would spend a lot of time studying, and he would be the first person and living being to cross this veil. And then after Akarat died, his apostle would then take on the mantle and then found the Spiritborn traditions that we know today.
You know, hearing about the Spiritborn, and of course, like, I'm sure this is a burning question from the community, but the Sanctuary has a long and storied history. Kind of, where have the Spiritborn been throughout all of this?
Yeah, so for anybody
they were sleeping. They were just sleepy little guys. That's all.
Who knows the lore of Diablo, this region is no stranger to Mephisto, right? So if you go back to Diablo 2 and you
Mephisto loves fucking with the spirit
his original
world.
soul stone was imprisoned in this place.
Yeah.
And its presence corrupted the Zakarum faith, it corrupted the region, and the Spiritborn remember this. And so over the course of what's been happening in D4, they've decided to stay at arm's length out of fear that history might repeat itself.
Yeah, so like I said before, this is an untouched realm. It's pure. This is something so sacred. And with
I guess that's an
back with the
okay
Soul
lore
Stone,
reason. I'm not sure. I'm not the biggest fan of
problem
that.
for the people of Nahantu, but specifically the Spiritborn.
Like, these things
that
are
trying to protect this
gods.
land.
Yeah, and at this point, with him back, they have no choice but to rejoin the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible to hear more about the Spiritborn and where they originated from. And of course, thank you, Eleni, for taking us into the spirit realm in itself. You know, we've talked about the new class and how that was created and what they've been up to. Next, we're actually going to take a look at how the art and concepts were
this is Hammer Shark. This is all about the new expansion for Diablo 4. All of this information was released today.
designed.
Brand new. I like the music. Actually, we'll put this on normal speed. They're showing like animation stuff. I think the music sounded better faster. I never spend money if I can avoid it by Nomadic, so I didn't buy anything.
We are
front
now
end.
joined by my blood brother, art director Nick Chalon.
I literally bought coffee. Like, that's it. I bought a couple of boxes of, like, you know, Keurig pods. That's literally it.
Chalano, who is here to show us how the Spiritborn visually came to be. Nick, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Adam. I'm really excited to talk about the Spiritborn finally.
I know, it's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. Nick, will you tell us a little bit more about, like, how...
Can someone ask the question, why not Paladin?
this class came to be?
That's what I want. I want to know why not Paladin.
First of all, like, that trailer, like, what an origin story for a Diablo class. Like, you got to go into the jungle, you answer the call, or you're cold. Like, it's pretty rock and roll, and on the art side, like we love that stuff. So
Yeah,
I
the
think
art
when you go
style is,
back to,
I
like,
mean,
what
gorgeous.
Melanie was
Art
talking
style
about,
wise,
we
absolutely.
really want to capture everything they just mentioned from a visual standpoint. So for us, it's about trying to infuse the Hantu, the spirit realm, and a martial arts feel into the class.
The martial arts feel is really cool.
Brent mentioned
That's why
that, like,
people
kind
are
of
thinking
lightning
it's like
rod
the
moment.
monk.
That's something that the art team really focuses on. When those moments happen, we really lock into that and start to do a lot of iteration. So like, concept will start casting a really wide net, but when that happens, we really start to bring it in and we start to really do a lot of concepts around that so that we can.
So one of the things they'll be doing is also taking questions from Twitch chat. I think that's right here, the Q&A. I wonder if they're going to have any questions regarding why not Paladin. I wonder if they're going to have any questions of, are they going to revamp any of the previous classes? Because a lot of the classes could be, heavily revamped, and they could all use, W's in that. And also the last question is, why the fuck would anyone ever play dog shit druid when you now have the better animal shaman style class? Like, this is just better than druid in every fucking way. Like, druid is so bad in Diablo 4. And I say this as someone who tries druid every single season. Like, I want it to be good. It's just so bad, though.
Kind of get that tagline that the team needs, which is like creating the living, breathing embodiment of the spirit realm.
Yeah, and it's really, after we get past that initial inspirational piece, we want to like drill down into finding that iconic piece. And so when you look at some of the imagery
art
that we're
design's
showing
great.
today, you can
Feels
see
very
how we're
Aztec.
taking that embodiment and we're bringing it into all
Aztec
of the
or Mayan or
iconic
whatever.
look of that character. We wanted a class that wouldn't necessarily wear armor to protect
stretch.
themselves, but rather become the guardian
Martial
that
arts
they're
for a
all
long
about.
time?
And so if
Yeah.
you're into the Jaguar, you're wearing the Jaguar.
It's not like pure martial arts Hammer Shark. It's like wushu. So it's like, having like martial arts style flow and stuff with like a double-sided glaive or like a quarterstaff, things like that with weapons. Wushu has weapons, so that's what it reminded me of personally. Could be, considered anything else, but yeah. Yeah, Jaguar
the
looks great.
markings
Yeah.
are the spots and patterns that you would see on that creature. The way that you move through the jungle would also be a big part of that package. And then once we have that iconic look, we can actually roll it out to the rest
Still,
of the
yes.
team.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's really the DNA of
absolutely
like
cool.
where we start going. Like those iconic images drive the entire art department at that point. And that's our North Star. So we can move into things like, how do we get the Spirit Guardians on screen? How do they fit into the combat? If you think about the eagle, does the full eagle show up? Is it just feathers? How do we represent that? And how do we like ramp that up through our visuals so you can start with something, a little more on a certain scale and get to this like epic moment?
So it looks like the big animals showing up, like the gorilla showing up and stomping everything and so on and so forth. It's only going to be the ultimate.
We also want to explore, visually, like visual iconography at the same time. So while we're doing all that iteration and stuff with the iconic looks and the skills, we're also starting to get into like, what is the identity of the class?
I agree with that.
Where do we want to put this iconography? And like, what is that visual footprint that they're going to take up on the screen?
It's seeing all this like badass concept art. Like shout out to our concept artists on
concept
the art
team's
team.
amazing.
So good. Like how do you guys actually take this from like concept now to actually building out the character from some of this concept art?
Yeah, once we have alignment between the design direction that we want to go, we understand kind of roughly mechanically and from a design perspective where we want it to be and where we want it from an art direction standpoint. We sit down with each department and we actually roll out the idea. We pitch them, and we're like, hey, this is what we're thinking, and really get them to understand where we're trying to head so that when they go off in their crafts and make the best work that they possibly can make, the sum of all the parts end up with a killer class like the Spiritborn.
Collaboration's a big thing. And, it really starts with the character art department. They take these like 2D images and bring them to life in 3D.
I don't know.
They will start to figure out materials, the fine details of how our armor's crafted, to like big silhouette shapes.
That's very
One of the
cute.
interesting things about this class is we started to recognize that like the helms, the gauntlets, the belts were really great places to like hone in on those like visual elements.
I wish they added fist weapons. Like, look at those claws, man. Those claws look cool. That would be really cool. Fist weapons is like, another kind of like, one-hander class style weapon, like swords, maces and stuff. Like they could just add like straight up like claws or fist weapons. Dude, those are always so dope, man. I love those.
And another nice thing is like the armor really started to kind of come into the space of being very functional and practical. You'll notice that like the legs are kind of open, the upper body's kind of open. It's because we're making a really fast, agile class. So we want everything to kind of line up. And like Brent said, like they don't need to be fully armored. They are protected by the Spirit Guardians. Their offense is their defense, and it shows when you play it. speaking of fast and agile, we moved to Tech Art. Tech Art really is the team that will.
I love how they say that. It's supposed to be fast, agile, and offensive, like an offensive class. But the gorilla literally gets a stacking 10% barrier every single time it uses a skill. That's insane. That doesn't feel very... That doesn't feel very weak at all. Like, that just feels strong. Like, very defensive as well. Like, that's insane.
Kind of find what our limits are and kind of allow us to break them a little bit. So they do a lot of range of motion tests. They're trying to figure out how we can get
Dude, this
really
modeling
dynamic
work is
poses, really
crazy.
dynamic lines of actions, and we want to push that because this class really needs us to kind of be in the spot where we're like kind of pushing the boundaries of what we've done normally.
Yeah, it's awesome because like you guys mentioned, like super like hypermobile class, and you know, so the apex predator in the jungle itself. Like, how do you put that towards something like animation now, like getting the character to move and kind of telegraphing that through that animation?
Yeah, you know, like one of the key elements here is making sure that we have a combat archetype that's unique. So if you take a look at the original 5 classes, each one of them has a very distinct style.
Right.
And so when we were thinking about the Spiritborn, we naturally went to martial arts. And what
There you
does that
go.
mean for
See?
movement through the jungle? And actually, I feel like we found a really good pairing there.
Yeah, like the animation team, like they went crazy with reference. They were looking at Muay Thai, Taekwondo, kickboxing, boxing, karate. There was a stunt woman that did these amazing like reference materials that we saw. And the really interesting thing here is we're not trying to like just mimic a martial arts style. We're really trying to find the best pieces of them and seeing
There
where
you
they
go.
fit. How can we manipulate them? How can we rearrange them in ways that make a really unique and interesting fighting style for the Spiritborn? Once the animation team has that, and like they, you know, again,
The
they have
anime
a
team.
wide range of options that they're looking at, they start to figure out like where it fits for each guardian. So,
Okay.
for example, the gorilla is blunt force, lots of strength. The jaguar is cleaves, multi-hit combos, aggression. The centipede is like open palm strikes for applying poisons and unearthing things from the ground. And the eagle is about really precision movements and repositioning on the battlefield. So like they nailed it when it came to that.
You know, honestly, it's like the combination of all the things that we put
From
together.
the trailer alone, I counted like 3 or 2 positioning moves just for the Jaguar. So, okay, if we want to go with that, sure, but I don't know.
We've been talking about.
I feel
it's
like they
we've
all
almost
do
invented
this.
Our own martial arts style.
Yeah,
for
Woomba,
Diablo.
Woomba the
And
best.
we've been talking about this the last few days with all the people that we met with, and they actually said, "Hey, does it have a name?" And currently it doesn't. So like for those of you at home,
Heck
if you
yeah,
have
Rage.
ideas,
Check
Karate
out
is
the,
great.
You know, the Spiritborn gameplay and like, you know,
I think
name
everyone should
suggestions,
learn
like,
martial
we gotta
arts on
do
some
this.
level.
Exactly, we're all ears.
That's right.
Well, we've heard about,
Absolutely.
you know, concept, and we've heard
Self-defense
about character
and also
art,
confidence
and
and,
now
you
we
know,
just heard about
inner
animation.
strength and
I
outer
always
strength.
call it kind
Absolutely.
of like the frosting on
I'm
the
a
cake, and
huge
that is kind of
proponent of that.
VFX, and that makes everything kind of pop a little bit. How does VFX actually play into something like this?
Well, it's, you
Yeah,
know,
at this point, VFX is really they're an amazing bridge between like
Both.
gameplay and the visuals of the game. And they had a really important lift, which was to try to figure out like how do we represent like the spirit realm and these like elemental spirit guardians like together? What is that fantasy and what is that story we're telling? So Eleni mentioned
Okay.
earlier that like there's this veil, right? So we need to
Right,
understand
right.
like how do you get the jaguar, for example, to like come through this veil, show up in sanctuary. and
this is
exit
the
through
little
veil.
fadeaway.
So
This is the
visually, we're
fadeaway
looking at,
back
like,
in the spirit
what
world
is
that
the
I was
spirit
talking
realm?
about.
So
That
you
was a
have this,
really
like,
nice
bluish white
touch.
mist. They
There we go.
come in through the veil. That bluish white mist kind of like
That. This will fade away. This is so cool.
trails off of them. They become physical. The jaguar is now engulfed in flames. This spirit guardian. It kills everything on the
Yeah, it
screen.
doesn't
that
look
you think, like,
good.
that's
Oh
around
my
it,
God.
And then it exits through that veil and kind of like transitions into that blue-white mist again. That's a fantastic story for us to tell. And it also allows us to start to understand like what are our pieces with the VFX and how to then ramp up our basic skills to be maybe lean
Hey,
over
no,
more
where's
to the
Lee
mental
Blee?
side. Our core skills, we start to like kind of blend the two together. You know, maybe it's like the gorilla fish show up and they look like that spirit element, and then they, you know, but then you go into the ultimates where it's just like our spectacles like ramped up. And to be honest with you, like when it all comes together, like there is a feel to this class that is really awesome. Kind of like inherently martial arts has a rhythm and a cadence to it. This class has that. It's fantastic to look at.
Yeah.
You feel it when you play it, and the art team, they killed it. They did a fantastic job.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I gotta give another shout out to the
Our
the
team is
Diablo
like one of the
team.
best
Absolutely
things
killed
that
it.
Diablo
Spiritborn
has
is
going for it,
fantastic,
for sure.
Great to look at, great to play.
That's where a
but
lot
Nick,
of
thank you so
the
much for, you know,
$100
walking us
million
through the creation
goes
of the
into.
Spiritborn. Reminder for everyone watching from home, we'll actually be holding a Q&A at the end of
No,
today's
of
Spiritborn
course.
showcase, similar to how we always do with all our live streams. You can drop your questions in the Diablo Twitch chat, and we will try to get to as many of them as
Man, I
possible.
wish I had the time to watch this live. This would have been so fun to watch live with you guys. Yeah, the Q&A.
Towards the
I
end of
wish
the
I
show.
was here for that. Oh my God. I would definitely would have added my own questions. Thank you, Luck back. Okay. This is just like parts of the trailer. Gameplay deep dive. This is the meat.
We've heard the lore.
Here we
we've
go.
seen the art.
Here we
now
go.
let's get ready to
Welcome
talk
back,
about some
Leadley.
gameplay. I know a lot of people are excited to hear more about how this class actually plays.
Right.
So next up, we have Bjorn Mikkelsen, class designer, on stage to talk about the gameplay for the Spiritborn. Bjorn is actually here to tell us more about the Spiritborn's overall class kit and design. And later on, we'll get into...
I would have laughed if he was just straight up like, yeah, we decided to make it overpowered in every way. It definitely looks it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Some itemization, which I know every fan wants to hear about because itemization is, of course, incredible, especially within Diablo. Bjorn, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
I love how he says this when they literally stole, like, what is it, 80% of the itemization from last Epoch and just stuck it into Diablo.
I know
Bjorn
is
is so
a
shameless,
fan
man.
here because
Yeah,
he's going to walk us through.
Not that I even mind.
all the
It just made
skills
Diablo a
and the
better
gameplay
game.
for how it works.
But
So Bjorn,
it is what
can
it
you
is.
kick us off and tell us, a little bit about this new class?
Crazy.
Absolutely. So yeah, just like high level, like what is this class? Excellent question.
Flynomatic, I doubt it. Because, like, what is busted in Barbarian has still stayed busted in Barbarian, even after, like, all the nerfs and everything. What is, like, shitty about Druid has stayed shitty about Druid for literally the entire time Diablo 4's been out. Like, I don't think anything will ever change, really, Flynomatic. I don't think generally anything will ever change.
So basically what
point.
Spiritborn are, they are these jungle warriors who are empowered by the spirits.
Okay.
They're sort of this dexterity-focused class.
All right.
And sort of masters of martial arts and hand-to-hand combat. And so what they do is ultimately all of their actions and their movements, they sort of resonate with the spirits to form sort of these unique combat styles as they're fighting. They sort of mix and match them to hit whatever sort of build they need.
Right.
Awesome. So, like, if you are a current Diablo player right now, or like, let's say I'm a current Diablo player, which I am, I play a lot of Rogue or Barb. Like, where would you kind of place the speed and aggression of the Spiritborn?
Yeah, I would say Spiritborn is definitely probably our fastest, most aggressive class. It's got multiple gap closers built into its basic attacks. It's got several movements.
So then why would you ever play a Rogue again as well? So it's basically a Rogue combined with the Druid. And it looks like it does the job better than both. Oh, man.
Skills, very high damage on those, as well as several ways to upgrade its evade skill as well. It's all about kind of like getting on a target, sticking to it, and killing it.
Awesome. I know we had footage earlier of like...
I'm of the opinion that if they added mechanics to change how evade works for the Spiritborn, they should do the exact same thing with every single other class as well. Like, I'm glad that they're making this look cool and be cool and everything like that. But they should really, really touch up the other classes as well. Because every single class will feel worse to play compared to the Spiritborn, in my opinion. Like, this is just going to be... Oh, God. This is going to be horrifically unbalanced.
Within the trailer of players.
I'm so excited for it.
And we talked about this earlier. Yeah. Players being able to actually summon in these Spirit Guardians. So can you like just summon a giant jaguar into battle or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of in addition to being these master martial artists, because they're empowered by these spirits, you'll see parts of the spirits, but then ultimately with the ultimates, the spirits themselves will show up on the battlefield and they'll empower you and deal damage.
Right.
And it's really the core of the fantasy, right? Like if we talk about power fantasies, summoning the god into battle is the power fantasy for this class.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really liked about that is that we were getting a bunch of feedback early on about making ultimates more meaningful, and we were actually able to do that with this class ground up.
Will they buff the ultimates for other classes? Because I know pretty much, not all, but like a gigantic percentage of the meta builds for all the Diablo 4 characters, you just don't even use an ultimate. Like you just don't use them. The cooldowns are too long and they just don't even do nearly as much as buffing up one single core ability does. So it's just like, oh man. Another giant misstep for the... I think that they put a lot of detail and like probably way too much detail and complication into the Paragon boards. And I think like the basic level up, what's it called? Skill tree needs more. I think they went a little too dichotomous. Like one is too complicated, one is too simple. I think if they took some of the complication out of the Paragon board and added it into the actual normal skill tree, it would just be better all around, and it would make early game leveling far more fun and far more engaging, because we lack choice. And this is coming from me, and I didn't even really know how much choice we were lacking until we fucking played Last Epoch for the first time. And it's like, wow, I have 20 different ways I can change and affect every single skill in the entire game. Every single skill is a skill tree. It feels bad to go back to Diablo 4 and have like one branching path of 2 changes, and that's it. It's like, dude, this is nothing, man. This is literally nothing.
Awesome. I know people are probably
and
dying
maybe
to know, like,
a
okay,
legendary aspect of
let's
lucky.
jump into some Spirit Guardians. So I think this is a great opportunity. Maybe we should start off with like the Jaguar being the first one. Bjorn, do you want to take us through the Jaguar itself?
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. Yeah, starting off, Jaguar is a great one. Jaguar is, as we've kind of touched on before, it is sort of this manifestation of just like the hunter.
Not the best
it's
cars.
Exhilaration, it's violence, it's aggression.
Yeah.
It's attacking repeatedly, kind of just constant pressure as it's going.
Right.
It's got these ramping mechanics to it. It's got lots of kill streaks.
It's attacking real
mechanically
fast.
Speaking, the way we've kind of translated this.
Oh yeah, I also have it on 1.25. There it is.
Primary focus is attack speed.
Still feels fast.
And it chases that through a new keyword and mechanic that we call ferocity.
Okay.
This is a stacking buff that it can generate, usually via Jaguar skills, that will increase the attack speed of all of its skills, but it will also enhance other...
The little slashing thing reminds me of Udir's Q, old Udir's Q, which is pretty cool. Actually, even in some ways, new Udir's Q.
Jaguar skills, so you can use them more often, reduce their cooldowns, that sort of thing. Moving on to an example, I guess, of a Jaguar skill. First off, here's one we have, Ravager. This is a new type of skill we're adding to the game called Incarnate skills. They all have a passive and active effect.
Okay.
This one allows you to maintain your ferocity at just like a minimum level, so you're all just like a little bit fast. But then when you activate it, you kind of go full Jaguar
Gotta be like,
mode.
maybe, yeah,
it
true.
gives you additional attacks, kind of like whenever you hit something. It's
totally fair leavely.
So it can even turn like skills that are like deal a little bit less damage, they can now deal extra damage just whenever you hit something. Moving on to another skill, we have Rushing Claw. This one is the Jaguar's kind of primary mobility skill. It will dash you through a target and slash everything along the way.
Okay.
And the key to this one is you can kind of use it over and over.
So
and
this
over
is cool because we're like actually seeing each singular ability now.
again, like multi-strike your enemies. And then finally,
It's like a
of course,
dash.
we have.
It's like a dash that does damage in a line, but also moves you. So like there are other line abilities in the game, but I don't think there's really much that moves you and does damage all the way through. Like for example, Lunge, which is a barbarian ability, only hits one thing. You can still dash, but it only hits one thing. And because it's like a dash, you use it all the time anyways for pretty much all the builds because mobility is so important in this game. And then there's like, and also the stickiness of melee classes has definitely always been an issue with Diablo 4. And it still feels really bad, which is why everyone goes to Lunge. Then you have like line abilities that are just projectiles, which are like the wind claw, wind slash. I think it was called wind slash, and so on and so forth. Yeah. Welcome,
Ultimate, the
Neos.
Hunter.
Join the giveaway.
This will actually manifest the Jaguar onto the battlefield. You'll leap through the air. It's also a movement skill. And when you land, the Jaguar will destroy everything. And it also has upgrades to kind of help chase the kill streak vibe. There's a chance to reset the cooldown.
And the claw marks are cool, Ebly. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you look at all of these things as a package, you start to see almost a combat archetype built into each Guardian themselves. And that was actually something...
Again, this is kind of making me worry that every single archetype is going to be like, you want to go full Jaguar, you want to go full Monkey, you want to go full this, full that, and then you only have like 4 real builds. This is a problem every other class in Diablo has.
That was really important to us. So if you were speccing into the Jaguar, it's important to those types of players.
And again, contrasting this, because it's just right there with Last Epoch. Last Epoch, you can take like any skill and kind of make it your main skill. And Last Epoch is really good about making a massive variety of builds work. Like, it's so cool how they do that. And it's because of how much detail they put into the skill trees for the skills. It's a big thing.
Who do want to keep the attack speed up, that do want to keep their kill streaks going. And you're going to see this as like a through
Alligator?
line that
What?
each particular Guardian will have their
For
own
what,
thing.
Hammer Shark?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan
For
of
Spirit Guardian,
you know,
no.
the fast, frantic
The
gameplay, and I was-
the four thingies, the four aspects. Excuse me, for Diablo 4, Spirit Guardian are Jaguar, which is fire, a lightning bird, essentially, like a phoenix or a bird, and or a hawk. I think they called it a hawk. So it's a lightning hawk. And then they have the like the earthy, tanky gorilla, and then they have the poison centipede. It's like a giant poison centipede that like just gushes poison everywhere. Welcome, Zima. We miss you, Zima. How you been? Welcome back. I hope live streaming you well, Zima. Join the giveaway. Giveaway is active. They missed an alligator. I don't know. Where would you put the alligator? They already have. I mean, if they had a fifth one, I guess water, perhaps. Yeah.
Say I have a little bit of bias towards the Jaguar for sure, but I know we want to go on to the other Guardians for sure. And for all our tanky friends out there, Bjorn, do you want to walk us through the gorilla?
Absolutely. Yeah, moving on to the gorilla. The gorilla, core concept behind protection and defense, but it's not just like passive defense. This is a very active defensive play style where you're shrugging off the damage, but you're also returning it to your attacker. So it's really got this like retribution.
Return to Monk.
Also sort of
it's the only way.
Its core mechanic and stat that we work with is damage reduction. It chases us in two ways. One is through using block, sort of actively blocking damage, as well as a second new keyworded mechanic called resolve.
Yeah.
This is also a stacking buff, but this one falls off whenever you get hit. So it's really important to keep stacking it and kind of keep stealing yourself and building your resolve back up. But as long as you have any stacks of it,
reject
you get
the
full
modern,
damage
return to
reduction
Monk.
bonus.
Yeah. The only way.
Moving on to just a couple examples.
Look at this. Look at this fucking unit. Look at this Giga Chad. Why would you pick anything else except Wumbo? Wumbo is the one true spirit. Completely. Wumbo is humanity. Big, chunky Wumbo.
Examples for gorilla skills.
And I'm not making it up. This character is named Wumbo, by the way. It is actually called Wumbo. The Sigma Giga He. Yeah, exactly.
Starting off, we have Crushing Hand. This is their core spender skill. Kind of just does what it says. Will smash your enemies to pieces.
Yeah.
Kind of neat thing about it is it's actually two separate attacks that kind of overlap in the middle.
Ah, that's cool.
So you can sort of prioritize a single target and deal double damage to it. Another attacking skill that we have, this one's Payback. This one really leans hard into the sort of aspect of retribution that we have going on. This one will deal a large amount of damage, and that damage will ramp up the more something has hit you. So it's really good for just like ending a fight if you need to, but also like as things are hitting you,
like
you
head clap them.
So kind of you have this flow of like being able to sort of like end fights, but also kind of keep hitting as you go. And then finally, again, we have the ultimate skill, bringing in the gorilla itself.
This is a missing opportunity to do like a gorilla shoulder bash, like a shoulder tackle. That would be really cool. That would be really, really cool.
The skill is called the Protector. It creates a large protected area on the battlefield that will grant you barrier while you're inside of it, as well as several other defensive bonuses that you can spec into with it.
And
the gorilla will just smash
it's
any
sandwich,
enemies that try to come and harm you while you're in it.
Yeah, if you like that bruiser archetype, like this is the build for you. It is definitely about that give and take of damage. I mean, you said it earlier. Anyone who's been looking for a tank or a tank-like build in Diablo, this is the one that you're going to want to spec into as a part of your kit.
Yeah, it sounds like a really unique way of being able to, especially for tank players, to like bring damage to enemies and stuff like that, which is so awesome. So
yeah, exactly.
Next, on to our third Guardian. Of course, we have the Eagle. Bjorn, do you want to take us through the Eagle?
Yeah. So
it's an eagle, not a hawk. Sorry.
It's kind of soaring above it all. We've got this Guardian that represents precision and accuracy and kind of finesse. Its ability, its freedom of movement, like a lot of the movement that the class has is very aggressive, very in your face, and the Eagle really is able to kind of take that to another level and kind of go wherever
Beard
it
face,
wants.
welcome.
In addition to that, it can also sort of like extend its attacks to sort of pseudo-ranged playstyle. Allows it to really like prioritize a target and sort of like hit from anywhere. So its core stat that it cares about is movement speed. That allows it kind of, like I said, able to kind of go anywhere it wants and sort of tactically.
Well, this will be the leveling meta. If it has movement speed as like a main stat, that's crazy.
Position on the battlefield, and it also has several ways to sort of amplify its evade skill, adding damage, that sort of thing to it.
Yeah.
So moving into just a couple examples, we of course have to start off with Soar. This is sort of Spiritborn's premier mobility skill. Takes you up into the air, out of the battle for a second, able to dodge mechanics with that if you need to, but also because the Eagle is all about kind of those big impacts as well, it will create a target area where you're going to come down and make those enemies vulnerable so that it just amplifies the damage when you land.
That's my secret rage.
Example,
I'm always tired.
We have Razor Wings. This is a damaging skill.
Dash of Hope, welcome, my friend.
Eagle.
Yes, you've been
this
covering all the new Diablo 4 news.
It sends it out, allows you to hit something at range, but
also giveaways active Dash
you,
of Hope.
Sort of rewards you for the tactical positioning on the battlefield, so you can sort of line it up so it'll hit different things as it comes back.
Right. Little
then,
boomerang.
Of course, our ultimate skill,
electric boomerang.
The Seeker, bringing in the Eagle itself to just annihilate your enemies with damage.
That looks cool.
Cast it anywhere on the battlefield, it charges up and
that looks cool.
The blast can be upgraded to be a guaranteed critical strike, and while it's on the battlefield, it will also make everything vulnerable for you. This is also like one of the first ultimates that we have, which will have multiple charges, so you can kind of use it back to back or prioritize a target.
Interesting.
And
okay.
there's like a lot of player agency with that.
Yeah, this is really for that tactical player. Where positioning is super important. You don't necessarily want to be constantly in the fray, so you still want to output that damage. Maybe you want to put it in a particular place in the encounter, but you can do it by going in and then you can get right back out. So for those players who really like that tactical positioning, that's what the Eagle is for.
Yeah, it seems like the Eagle gives you that extra freedom of in mobility, so you can kind of move in and out, especially with things like Soar, which is sick to see for sure.
One of my favorites.
So unique for Diablo 4 for sure on that end.
One thing I will try is going a full movement ability build where I do nothing but Jaguar and Eagle, and just zoom across the map and just avoid every mechanic. That's it. That'll be the entire build. Because the movement speed will build the attack speed from the Jaguar skills, and same with the other way around. They'll both build upon each other way too well. Yeah, Jaguar, Eagle, Monkey, and then the last one is Poison Centipede.
Last but not least, of course, this is probably our most unique Spirit Guardian, and probably one that I'm sure a lot of people are like.
It's no Wumbo, but it looks cool.
It's got to be crazy, and that is the Centipede. So Bjorn, how's the Centipede play out?
Yeah, so moving to the Centipede.
Notice how they named, some of the spirit aspects, and they definitely named Wumbo, and not the Centipede. I'm just saying.
The Centipede is very unique. It represents this sort of abstract concept of the cycle of life and death, and the way we've kind of chosen to interpret that is that it's sort of this epicenter of attrition, but it's also like really about just kind of like this endless or inescapable.
That big
sort of
fear thing is really good.
And that's like really bad for your enemies, but kind of really good for you. So its core mechanics that it works with that persistence is damage over time, poisoning, crowd controls, that sort of thing, but then it uses those things to sort of empower and sustain itself, so also like leeching life and that sort of thing.
A crocodile, a poison crocodile.
Your enemies as you kill them.
I'll be real with you guys. I'm just glad it's not a goddamn snake. I hate snakes.
So moving on to just a quick example, Stinger is our core skill for the Centipede. This one does a large amount of damage in a small area in front of you, but the sort of interesting thing about it is that damage will also echo out to any nearby poisoned enemies. So it kind of has this adaptive,
like a shockwave,
dynamic range that it has, sort of depending on like how much you've been spreading your poisons around the field. So it can like basically hit the whole screen if you really want to. Another skill example that we have would be Scourge. Scourge kind of takes that sort of like oppressive control that the Centipede has, and it will fear and it will slow and poison enemies and sort of disrupt any kind of like strategies they might have going on and just sort of allow you to turn the tables on them.
This makes sense.
And then finally, we have the ultimate skill, bringing in the Centipede itself.
Yeah, it's a big like beam attack. Oh my god, that looks insane.
Poison laser beams, globs of poison everywhere.
That looks
the Centipede kind of wrecking the entire battlefield. It's got upgrades which will also...
I play a lot of Diablo. I play a lot of ARPGs in general. So a lot of the smaller ones, we've this week been playing a lot of Last Epoch because they also had a major update as well, and it added like so much cool stuff. We even started a hardcore run in Last Epoch as well. I refuse to do another hardcore run in Diablo 4 because Diablo 4 has way too many one-shot mechanics, which are impossible to see on the map, and it's so fucking annoying. But yeah,
allow it to
I love the game
instantly
still.
execute enemies who have been fully poisoned. Sort of
as in season 4 of Diablo 4 was like the best season they've had so far. So
helping the cycle.
Hopefully
of
it
life
only
and death
gets even
to
better.
Speed up a little bit there.
Yeah, this is clearly our most Diablo Guardian that we have. It's becoming a fan favorite very quickly. The people who have gotten hands-on with it have a lot to
Dude, who would choose that over Wumbo? Come on, man. Come on.
say about it. But
Not to gorilla beat a dead drum, but you know.
the cool thing about this one is we took on a really unique design challenge.
Wumbo is
like,
the
how do you take
coolest.
the concept of
I refuse to hear
damage over
otherwise.
time, dealing damage, regenerating life, and make that kind of the
regens
core
life?
of an entire
Oh,
archetype.
okay, that's pretty cool.
I thought you guys did a fantastic job at getting it there. For those Type A players who really want to manipulate the field
What is
to keep that
Wumbo?
damage
Oh. Chat, he doesn't know what Wumbo is. Hold on. Gotta find you Wumbo. Oh, it's like right here. Okay, there we go. This fucking chonk. This giant gorilla who just beats the shit out of people. That's Wumbo. And his name is Wumbo. And the name is just fucking hilarious. So yeah, this is Wumbo. He's just big monkey ape man. Just beats the shit out of things. It's all about like Earth and being tanky and protecting and shit like that. So yeah, it's kind of my playstyle in general. But also, Wumbo.
You get hands-on with this, like, you're going to want to experiment. We want you to experiment. We know that there's
Can
gonna
we
be
mix
many
and
builds that
match?
are very emergent, and I actually can't wait to see some of the cool
Yeah,
stuff
another
that people
Spiritborn,
come up
yeah,
with
yeah.
once this goes live.
Yeah, exactly. Like at its heart, Spiritborn is really all about like personalization, sort of expressing yourself. And so like whichever spirit sort of resonates with you, we really want to allow you to mix and match some kind of
So I said Wumbo, obviously, profusely, 50 times over. Rach said the Fire Jaguar. What would the rest of you pick? Fire Jaguar, Wumbo, the chonk, the chonky monkey, the Thunder Eagle, the Lightning Eagle, or the almost dude is better than Druid in every way. Honestly, Beard, like I have no reason to ever go back to Druid after this comes out, and I don't know if they're ever going to talk about that. Be like, yeah, we're going to update the Druid as well. I haven't heard any of that yet. I really hope they do, because right now, like, dude, Druid is fucking dog shit every season already. I can't even imagine how much worse it'll feel when the other, the Spiritborn, which is the other, animal class, is just going to be infinitely better in every single way. Yeah, exactly, Beard. I know. I am very well aware.
And sort of make that play.
And then you compare it, Beardface, to Last Epoch. And the Primalist in Last Epoch basically combines the best parts of Druid with the best parts of Barbarian and just makes this like fucking animal shaman hybrid thing, which is just like everything you wanted from a Druid class ever. It's so much better. Oh my god. Holy shit. It looks cool. Dude, it is really good. It is really good. And I love Diablo 4. Like, I'm not saying this as a hater of Diablo 4. I love Diablo 4. I played a lot of Diablo 4. I will continue to play a lot of Diablo 4. I will definitely day one play the Spirit Guardian class and go like crazy with it and stuff. But all that being said, the Primalist is infinitely better than Druid in every way. Holy shit. And if you're a buddy, looks like Monk. Yeah. This is literally Monk with like weapon attacks and the animals. And that's like literally it with an Aztec decal. That is literally exactly what it is, Afura. Yeah, it's very monkified. You never liked Diablo and Diablo 3? Yeah, exactly. Monk, yeah. Neither did I, really. I completely agree. Monk was my least favorite class in Diablo 3. I completely agree. I would say, like, everyone is right now disappointed that it's not a paladin or a crusader. Love the Witch Doctor. There is some Witch Doctor vibes in this. So this does have some of the Witch Doctor vibes. D&D 5e Monk with a splash of Barbarian Totem abilities. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, exactly, Neos. Exactly. Will be interesting to see what the combat abilities the Spiritborn has apart from the animal stuff. Seems like you won't be using all the animals at once. Yeah, exactly. One of my big worries, Dash of Hope, is that it'll like kind of pigeonhole you into using kind of just one guy, like just one animal at a time. That seems a little annoying. Because that means there's only going to be 4 real builds.
Style choice, like fully customizable, and the primary way
I really hope
doing that, or the main way that we're doing that, is the Spiritborn's class mechanic called the Spirit Hall. The way the Spirit Hall works is you start your journey off by choosing one of 4 bonuses. At the top, the primary bonus. This is a massive bonus that will add sort of a thematic.
Oh, there was a secondary.
Effect.
Wait a second. So you mix and match. So so the primary we already read, all the primaries. But the secondary, for every 4 meters you move, your crit strike chance increases by 4%. And then it resets every time you crit. So you can mix Jaguar with Eagle. You can mix what's it called? Wumbo. Can we do Wumbo with more Wumbo? I wonder if we can Wumbo combo. Yes, I did that on purpose.
Primary bonus. This is a massive bonus that will add sort of a thematic effect to all of your skills of that type. So like an effect like the Jaguar will add extra strike.
It was right
sort of
there.
To all your
I
Jaguar
had
skills.
to.
But a subtle but very
right
important
there.
extra piece of this is that we'll also add
Afura, how have you
Spirit's
been, my
tag to
friend?
your entire skill kit. So
Wumbo's
every
love
single
Wumbo's
part
life, yeah.
of your skill kit now has the Jaguar skill. And so even if you want to use like Centipede skills, you can still sort of hook into various parts of the Jaguar using this bonus. Then later on in your journey, you will unlock a second bonus. This is a set of 4 distinct bonuses from the first. Each of these kind of has a tie-in with the sort of core mechanics of each of the spirits. So we mentioned before sort of the new keywords that we were introducing, like with the Jaguar has ferocity, the Gorilla has resolve, those sorts of things. These give you an opportunity to sort of mix those into your kit, regardless of
I was hoping you would
if
show
are
the
using those
second
specific
line.
skills or not, and sort of like add that
If it
extra
does, I'll
layer
pause
on
it.
top of
We'll
your
read
build.
them.
And when you're
Yeah,
choosing
exactly,
the spirit, these
Dash.
can absolutely be the same. You can pick Gorilla and Gorilla, Jaguar, Jaguar, or you can mix and mash them. And
So we can Wumbo combo.
it's really important that like
We
they
can.
all kind of flow and work together.
And we will.
So if you look at the nesting doll effect that we have of
More
your
Wumbo.
skill tree, your class mechanic, this can
More.
get complicated very quickly. And so one of the things that the team
Double
took
Wumbo, yeah.
on was this idea of finding what resonates most with each guardian and how do we create some level of overlap so that we can have some synergies between all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, good. They're at least thinking about not just having all Jaguar abilities. Thank God.
As we hit, like each of these has like very clear themes, right? You've got the Jaguar with its attack speed, you've got the Gorilla with its protection. You can definitely build into those, but it was important for us to sort of establish that these spirits, they don't exist like in isolation from each other. They have overlap. They have things that they both care about, and that allows us to sort of create these very hybrid-esque builds that work together. You know, just like an example, right? You've got like the Jaguar is a hunter. It's all about aggression and kind of chaos, and that's the thing. It loves that. But as a hunter, you're also sort of providing, you're also sustaining yourself, which is a thing that the Centipede also loves to do. And so they both care about healing, and they both have like different hooks that they can do for that. And so you can really like, if you're looking to get more healing into your build, you can add some Centipede, you can add some Jaguar.
Now I wonder if you can have the Centipede primary, the Wumbo secondary, for example, and you could also have basically and have all your abilities be all of the abilities from the mobility tree, the eagle tree. That would be very dumb. Dumb enough that I don't know if they thought of this as a possible problem with balancing. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. You know, Dash, it's just, we don't know. I only know how to break games. I don't know if they know how to fix them.
Mix them together, you can make an entire build about healing that is Centipede and Jaguar. These aren't
highly
like,
mobile monkey man.
prescribing
Yeah,
ways to
exactly.
build, but they're more so
like
just
exactly. Yeah, you could go the primary passive of Wumbo, the secondary passive of Wumbo, and then use all eagle skills to just zoom across the map and become the highly mobile monkey man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, straight up. Exactly. Exactly. That would, oh my god. I really hope they thought of this, but chat, I've been playing Diablo 4 since beta, and let me tell you, it's not 100% that they thought of this. It's not even a 50% that they thought of this. I'm just tossing it out there.
Like they're overlapping
Tarzan, yeah,
stats,
exactly.
that allow them to sort of communicate with each other. So just a couple examples. We have, for instance, if you want to build
Son of Man.
Gorilla's a lot of protection. Jaguar's a lot of sort of chaotic, constant damage. So when you mix those two together, you get this sort of like semi-tanky brawler who can just kind of go toe-to-toe with anything. And they sort of like dip into the stat of dodge, because dodge is a little bit inherently a slightly more RNG, a little bit more chaotic, kind of Jaguar, but it also kind of has that damage mitigation. And so you kind of combine them together and you have this very like retribution, but also fast-paced playstyle. Another example would be potentially if we think about like the Centipede and the Eagle. The Centipede's all about sort of debilitating your enemies and like making them weaker, and the Eagle's all about like kind of finding those weak points and like getting these high damage, you know, bursts off. So when you add those two together, they both care about vulnerable and sort of like turning the tables on all of your enemies. And so adding that together kind of creates this character that's sort of just able to like prioritize a target, weaken it, and then just like cull it from the battlefield.
I will definitely try to make a build where it uses all four, because fuck you, I want to. I don't know if that'll happen though.
Yeah, it's. I'm so glad Bjorn brought all these like really good examples for us. He's got a lot of footage for us to go through. It's awesome to see all these skills and how they work with the actual Spirit Guardians. And of course, the big popular topic that comes with every single class is itemization. And I know we have a lot to talk about with legendary aspects. And
which animals did you guys mix and match? Wumbo, Wumbo, Wumbo. Oh, tell me, when will you be mine? Oh, tell me, Wumbo, Wumbo, Wumbo. That's also not how the song goes, but, you know, it's an old song.
Some uniques as well. So, Bjorn, Brent, like, how does itemization work with Spiritborn?
Yeah, we all know that itemization is the heart of the game, right? And as we've been moving through our itemization journey
Wumbo
with this
from
game,
SpongeBob? No, Wumbo from
really
Diablo 4. I don't watch SpongeBob. I don't know.
Feedback and how that applies to the Spiritborn as we've been developing. And one of the cool things that we did was took the opportunity to actually lean into the things that you get from items and see how they build into the Spirit's abilities themselves. So we're going to show a few examples.
Wow, they should. That's a great idea. They should definitely do this with every fucking class, please. Jesus Christ.
Of that. Now,
they're not doing this in every class.
There's a lot of really cool stuff coming, but we thought we'd do a really quick breakdown and show you what that looks like.
Yeah, so just hitting a couple examples. You know, we have added this large
beat them
suite
with my
of Spiritborn legendaries and uniques to the game.
But
just to break down kind of some of our thoughts as we were working with them, sort of the types of legendaries you can expect to see. You know, one example, as we were just speaking about sort of these hybridization things, there's a lot of different stats in our game and sort of making them work together, not just like work together, but like be cool together. So we kind of have this category of items that will sort of interweave a couple of different stats.
Okay.
Secondly, we have our power augmentation legendaries. These just kind of let you take like your favorite skill and
welcome Polar Cat, how you
doing,
form, friend?
And just kind of like go crazy with it.
Join the giveaway.
Thirdly, we have sub-powers. These are sort of things like we think of them like rogue grenades, barbarian dust devils. These are sort of things you can sort of build around. They're sort of almost like skills, but they don't exist in your skill tree as things you can put on your bar.
Okay.
And then finally, we have our unique items, which are there to enable you to sort of make the craziest builds you can think of. So moving on to a couple examples, just kind of one for each real quick. We have Tormentors. This is an example of a hybridization legendary. This one interweaves.
Oh yeah, we've been covering it all night. Rage, a compliment for you, my friend. I want you to know, Rage, that you are a very, very kind and wonderful soul that gives so much to everyone around you. We appreciate you and thank you for being a light in our lives. There you go, Rage. There you go. And Polar Cat Medic, we're excited for this class as well. Have you been playing any Last Epoch if you like a lot of ARPGs? We've been playing and covering and doing a lot of Last Epoch this past week as well. I've been putting various parts of this video at 1.25 speed because it's a really fucking long video. You don't have Last Epoch? You should get it. It's really good. And Diablo 4, in order to fix a lot of their problems, just straight up just stole ideas from Last Epoch and just shoved it into their own game as well. Yeah. It's just straight up true.
Poisoning and thorns together, kind of in an
Little
interesting
cap,
way
you
that
want a
will
little
allow you
cap?
to apply your thorns, in a different way than just like having something hit you all the time. It's great. You can probably see the connection. Gorilla Centipede, they'll love this sort of thing.
Yeah, Gorilla
Moving on
Centipede.
to an example of a power
Dot
augmentation.
thorns over
Bristling
time.
Vengeance. This takes the payback skill that we kind of hit on before. Usually it's like a smaller AoE like right in front of you that just hits one enemy, but this one really allows it to sort of like extend its range, hit multiple enemies, as well as apply your thorns over an area.
Oh, that's cool.
And then thirdly, we have an example of one of our sub-powers. This one's called a Pestilent Swarm. The cool thing that we're kind of trying to out with each of our sub-powers is there are multiple legendaries for them, and they sort of allow you to customize how they work. So there's like one that'll let your Pestilent Swarm like poison enemies, one that'll make it
That's
spiral,
cool.
one that'll even make it orbit. You can sort of like combine those, like you can have it orbit and spiral, or poison. You can just have it shoot off, kind of whatever works.
This is literally fucking word for word almost stolen from Last Epoch. They're just not making it a skill tree, and instead of skill tree, you're affecting all of your skills with your items. This is the exact same shit, chat. You can take your hammer, you can make it a spiral, you can make it a nova, you can make it chain, you can make it shoot out lightning. This is exactly what they do with Last Epoch. Blizzard is back to normal, my friends, where they take the best ideas from everyone they stick in their games. That's a good thing, by the way. I'm not saying this is a bad thing at all. Yeah, Blizzard took notes. Dude, Blizzard copied the notes. They didn't take any note. They copied the notes, man. And this is good. I really hope they do this for every class. That's what I want. Like, I don't want this to only be for Spirit Guardian. Spiritborn. That's a good thing. No, I just said it's a good thing, Polar Cat. I just said it's a good thing. I just want them to do it for the other classes. Because all of the other classes are going to feel so lackluster compared. Oh my god, that's the problem.
For your build, we really want people to be able to experiment and play with those sub-powers.
2 more skill
and then
slots,
just
yeah.
a couple of teasers, some of our uniques.
And I would want 2 more skill slots as well, except for the fact that when I played Last Epoch, I realized I didn't need 8 skill slots. It has the same number of skills as this game does. However, the big difference is, Beard, that because you have a skill tree for every single skill, and every single skill has synergies with each other and everything like that, it's just really fucking well made like that, that I honestly felt pretty good about it. Like, it's great. It's great. Don't be Asmongold and bash this, so he already almost killed this class. I have no idea what he said about it. This information just came out today. Again, I think I'm being very clear, Polar Cat. I'm not bashing this. This looks great. Blizzard is at their best when they steal ideas from other companies. He said it was boring? Oh, I don't think this is boring. I think this is dope as hell. I just wish that they took all of these ideas and put it into all of the other classes as well. Because, like, Polar Cat, look at Druid. Druid in Diablo 4 is dog shit. I tried Druid every single season. Pretty much I make a new Druid every single patch. Because I want to see if they fix Druid. And it's always a no. It is always a no. They just hate Druid. And as a result, like, why would I ever play Druid anymore if I want the animal theme? This is just the better animal class. It's just going to be straight up the most busted animal class. So it's just like, yeah. Oh my god. Why has Druid always been overlooked? I don't know, man. This is a good question. I honestly don't know.
These are some unique boots that basically allow you to override your evade skill with soar.
Evade is now soar? Okay, that's nuts, man. That is nuts. You can just perma use the soar ability.
Or just get the ultimate amount of mobility you can think of. The neat thing about that is also that it allows
Skip
you to
season
actually
5, wait
take
for
soar
6.
off your bar.
I'll play season 5 as well, Polar Cat.
Keep it with you in that evade slot.
If you want to know about season 5, I will definitely make and cover content about season 5. And you can definitely find it on the lovely YouTube. I will definitely put it up on there as well. 100%. I love ARPGs. I've been loving Diablo 4. Even in its worst state, I played it. Even in its best state, Season 4, I've been playing it. I will definitely do it. Make another Druid? I will. I will unironically make another Druid. desperately grasping for straws, hoping that they fixed it. Yeah, exactly.
And then another example would be our unique quarterstaff, which is one of the 2 weapons we're adding with the Spiritborn.
Okay. Basics deal increased damage. Okay. Okay. So this will basically be the bash build. This is going to be the stupidest build in season 4, which is the bash barbarian using only your basic skill. That's exactly what this is. They didn't learn. They didn't learn that if you just giga buff basics, we're only going to use basics. Why would you do this? It's right there, man.
This one sort of allows you to ramp up your basic attacks. Spiritborn's basic attacks
are
a little
strong.
bit special. They're kind of really cool. They're these 3-hit combos, and each third hit does like a special thing. And this specific unique basically lets you get that third attack all the time. So then we have to take their third attack and make it a triple version that almost turns them into a different skill entirely.
Yeah, this is awesome. Seeing all the couple of examples of uniques. As Brent mentioned, this is just kind of like the tip of the iceberg. Yeah. I personally would take the Soar boots all day. You know, being able to use Soar as an evade is absolutely amazing. But I want to give a huge thanks to Bjorn for walking us through all the skills, especially associated with the Spirit Guardians, and of course the itemization across the whole entire class. We will actually have an extensive look for the entire community after the show on our blog. It will provide a great amount of detailed mention here immediately following the stream, so you can check it out and do a deeper dive with the Spiritborn yourself.
Right.
Now we're going to bring back everyone to get into our Q&A for all things Spiritborn.
40% block chance. I saw that. Yeah, it looks busted, Polar Cat. Dude, everything for this class looks fucking hard busted. Yeah. This art is so cool, man. It's no Paladin, but it's really cool. I like seeing these montages. Female Spiritborn looks hot. W. Oh, great. It's even more busted, Polar Cat? Jesus. That's fair. Okay, here we go. The Q&A.
Now we're ready for our community Q&A.
This is what I was looking forward to.
Burning questions for all things Spiritborn. If you have questions, again, please drop them in Twitch chat, and we'll try.
I already brought up my 3 major questions at the beginning of this. Let's see what they do.
As many as possible.
Let's see how much Twitch chat disappoints me.
Thank you guys for joining us. We did some musical chairs.
Diablo Twitch chat, not you guys. You guys are the best.
Quick little interstitial. I know as questions are coming up, one big question that everyone always asks, and I know we've probably seen it a million times in chat already, is like, hey, we have the Spiritborn. This is a brand new class. Why not something like a class from a
fucking paladin? Why not the fucking paladin?
Entire game, like a paladin or something from there.
Yeah, right out of the gate, right?
Yep.
You know, when we started off, one of the key things that were really important to us was to make sure that the class came from the place that we were going. We also knew that, you know, we did a really good job at revisiting classic archetypes like the barbarian and the necro, and so
you hate paladin? I love paladin.
Doing something new.
I love paladin, and also like I love, like, you know, heavy armor classes, like martial classes in anything. So that's one reason I like the paladin. I'm predisposed to like the paladin, and also like paladin is a super mainstay in, you know, Diablo. It's just weird that they don't have it, and we're like literally taking on hell. It's just like a big hole, you know? It's a big hole. And I think that's one of the big issues with Diablo 4. We only had 5 classes at launch, you know? And like, for example, last Epoch, which is $30, has 9. Sorry, no, sorry. 15. It has 15. You have a Void Knight, Forge Guard, Paladin, Blade Dancer Rogue, marksman rogue, and these are actually classes. A falconeer. I forgot the mage archetypes. I haven't played the mage much. You have the acolyte. You have the necromancer. You have the cursor. I forgot what it's called. The one that does like a lot of curses. You have shaman, druid, and beastmaster. Crusader and D3, which is the same thing as paladin. Yeah, exactly. Crusader or paladin. Exactly, Polar Cat. Correct. Yeah. You like paladin D2? Yeah, I love paladin D2. Absolutely.
Was a great opportunity. It was something that allowed us to inject some fresh.
All I'm saying is that they could have used some of their hundreds of millions of dollars of resources to make another class before the expansion. Now, they did it only because they want to sell the expansion, and I get that. But, you know, half the barb skills come from D3 Crusader. I'll have to look at that. I didn't play as much D3. Quality versus quantity. Brother. I love Druid. I've tried literally 10 different Druids. And let me tell you, the Druid ain't quality. The Druid ain't quantity. The Druid ain't shit, man. It's so sad. There's no quality when it comes to Druid in Diablo 4. Want them to add jewels? Oh, do they have jewels? Afura. There is jewel. There's socketing jewels in Diablo 4. 100%. 100%. Druid ain't shit ever. Fuck Druids. Dude, try Druid in last Epoch and your mind will fucking break. The Druid is a fucking monster in last Epoch. That's what I'm saying. It's not impossible to make a cool Druid. It's just Diablo 4 or Diablo just never does it. That's the thing. That's the problem. Also, Sweaty Gonads, I hope you're enjoying the good vibes. We love to discuss things. We love to be open. We love to have fun. And I'll always give it to you straight. If you enjoy the vibes, drop a follow. Welcome to Corey Crew, my friend. We would love to get to know you. Absolutely. Challenging Shouts, practically a Crusader law. I don't know. Challenging Shout is like an actual thing in Diablo as well, like as a barbarian thing. Barbarians had shouts in all of the forms of barbarian. So maybe, you know, Crusader also had something similar, sure, but barbarians always had shouts. Like shouting is a very barbarian thing. Now, the fact that we can use all the 3 different shouts and just power up all of our abilities means that fucking barbarian is broken because you'll always go 1 main ability and 3 shouts, which is annoying. I hate that build. I never do it, but yeah. Oh my god. Dwarf Gauntlet? Yes. Red Dwarf needs food. Badly.
Gameplay in. And going after the Spiritborn was a
I like the name
wider
Sweaty
palette to
Gonads.
play with. And so making sure that we were building something from the ground up from Nahantu was really the driving factor of this, and we're very proud of where we landed at today.
Awesome. Another question that this is everyone. This is the first time you guys are explaining. This is everyone's favorite moment where I butcher Twitch names like no other. But Arcphoenix asks, "Wait, the lore. Like, where have the Spiritborn been in D3, D2? Why are they not fighting Mephisto themselves?"
Yeah, I mean.
Also, the no paladin answer was so lackluster.
We talked about it before. Like, this is a religion that has been building up over time.
Okay.
They're a little more secluded. And really one of the things that we looked at is like the early exploration of Akrat, right?
Yeah.
This was cool. I love the narrative tie-in. The narrative tie-in with Akrat and all that stuff. That was really cool.
And in general, the Spiritborn, which you'll notice when you do.
And I promise I'm not just saying it because she's hot. Like, I love the narration of Diablo 4. I think that's like one of the absolute strongest parts of Diablo 4. And even when the game was dog shit, playing through the storyline of Diablo 4 was always fun. I've done it like 7 different times. I'll just play the story for fun sometimes, and it's always fun. It just feels like such a good story. Like, it really, really does. Story
you play the
narration is something
game.
Diablo's done well.
They are very scattered throughout
Juicy
Nahantu. It's not like they
Jesus.
have this massive presence where you walk in and you're like, there they are. It's like a little different than that. They're hidden, they're in the jungle, and they don't
And
necessarily
the
want to be
world
seen.
mirrors, yeah,
and
that's
this has
cool.
sort of been the idea this entire time. It takes a lot of devotion to be a Spiritborn. This isn't something that you can hop in and out of. So when we talk about being a Spiritborn, these are people who have devoted their entire life to be a follower of Wumbo. And that's what they're doing in Nahantu. They're not exploring really.
I know we've actually gotten a few questions about this specifically. This is a pretty good question for Bjorn and Nick, because a lot of people have noticed, like, hey, quarterstaff and new weapons. Like, what are the new weapon types for Spiritborn specifically?
Sure. Yeah, Spiritborn's bringing 2 new weapons with it. First off, we have the glaive, kind of its premier weapon that you see in all the key art. That's really the weapon for like...
Sweaty, totally fair, my friend. I love Diablo. I've grown up on Diablo since Diablo 1. I totally understand, my friend. I'm a big fan of the series. And we do play a lot of these types of games. If you like other kinds of ARPGs, if you want to branch out as well, I play a lot of those as well. We play everything. We play full variety in here. League, open worlds, horror, strategy, survival, Soulsborns, roguelikes, of course, ARPGs. You name it, we play it all. Last Epoch. I've been doing a lot of Last Epoch this past week, Afura. You should hop on over for it, my friend. I started my first hardcore in Last Epoch as well. It's going really well. I've almost died like 20 times. It's great.
Hunter. It's great for like taking down priority.
I made a
enemies,
rogue,
built-in elite
unfortunately.
Damage, that sort of thing. And then the second weapon.
Hey,
we're
there you go,
adding is
Sweaty.
the
Good for you, my
quarterstaff.
friend.
This is a
Hell
faster
yeah.
weapon that they can use to.
Also, if you like, my friend, I do make a lot of content on YouTube for this and many other games as well. I make a new YouTube video every single morning.
And sort of like adds like block chance and that sort of thing to it. So it's almost like
exactly,
a little bit of a
Polar.
pseudo-defensive weapon.
I mean, that's one reason everyone brings up Paladin when they're talking about Akarat. You're absolutely right. It's the Zealot cult that has Crusaders and Paladins. I know. I'm well aware. That's why people are yelling Paladin, Paladin, Paladin.
It's also got very high attack speed.
Yeah, from a fantasy standpoint, it was really cool to like try to create
Completely
weapons
agree.
that made sense for, again, like Brent mentioned, like where the class is from. So like, a glaive makes a lot of sense for like cutting through the jungle, being an aggressive weapon, being an attack-based weapon. The quarterstaff is really cool because it's like, you could imagine like, how do they train with this? They probably found like really strong branches from like trees that were really important to them, and they start to like train with that, and eventually they kind of start to perfect that craft and that bow staff. So there's a lot of really cool fantasy that we can like the art team can really do.
I just love that he's talking about like having really important trees and then talking about cutting them down and making them into weapons.
It also looks cool.
Usually you don't cut down the trees that are important.
To be frank, like if we're talking about a martial arts class, like having the bow
3 types of special weapons,
or
yeah,
the
exactly.
glaive to like really extend some of the
I just hope, Polar Cat, that all of the current classes can use the new weapons. That's what I hope. Like, I really, really hope that, for example, like Barbarian can use the quarterstaff as a bludgeoning weapon, or like the glaive as a two-handed slashing weapon, that kind of thing.
key poses that we got with the martial arts.
Rose
stuff that we
wine?
put
I've
into
never
the
had
game.
that.
I mean, it looks really good.
Yeah, it's awesome to see like new weapons for the Spiritborn with Vessel of Hatred. So another question that we have here. This is from Bucko351. Easy name. Question: what's the difference between the Spiritborn and the Druid class? The Druid class currently has bonds with like the staff.
One is dog shit. The other one is going to be busted strong. That's the difference. If they had a shred of credibility, they would just say it. They would just say it. Hey, we made the Druid, and in the past year, we saw what Last Epoch did with the Primalist, and we're like, man, we should really make this class and not fix Druid. We should just make it into a new class, and we're calling it Spiritborn. That's what they should say. I would respect them so much if they just fucking said it.
The wolf, the
eagle,
and the snake.
Funny.
Like what's kind of the changes between that and something like the Spiritborn?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the Spiritborn, you're not necessarily turning into this animal that we're talking about. This is a spirit guardian that lives in the spirit realm, and you're channeling this spirit guardian, and the manifestation.
Sure,
that
I
we're
won't look at
talking
it tonight.
about
I'll look at
is
it
what comes
tomorrow.
out. So
But yeah,
we
please
talked
do
about,
send
like,
it to me.
ferocity or
PM it to me on
something.
Discord.
That's something that you see in the jungle.
I will
right?
definitely
So
make
you
content up for
have
it.
This jaguar
We'll
that's
definitely look at it.
recognizable, and that's this manifestation.
I'd super appreciate
it's
it.
the best way to show that. So if we had a different belief, then it would manifest in
Wumbo
a
would be
different way.
pleased.
Versus the druid, you sort of really encompass the entire animal.
And you see that in the gameplay quite a bit, where I think, Nick, you were mentioning before, where it's like, yeah, I have this bond with the centipede. When I call him in, I call the centipede in to deal with this side of the combat, and then I go off and I start managing the other side of the combat. So you really see this like combat partnership between the Guardians and the Spiritborn, which is incredibly unique.
Okay.
We got a question here from Kat the Dewey. They're asking, we've seen 4 Spirit Guardians. Are there other Spirit Guardians that
Wumbo
were
for the
considered
Wumbo
potentially?
god.
Yeah, look, I'll spill the beans. I'll talk about it.
Oh.
You know, when we're choosing the spirits, we played around with a lot of concepts. Super abstract stuff that weren't animal-based. We talked about, okay, if I'm from the jungle, these things would probably represent things I know, which brought us to animals. And when we think about protection and strength, we originally had some conversations around an elephant. Like, what does an elephant mean? If there's a...
I'm really glad they went with Wumbo over an elephant. Elephants are cute, elephants are cool, but man, they ain't no Wumbo.
Animal that represents,
it's not even
like,
close,
family and protection the most. The elephant
we
is
dodged
one of
that
those.
bullet.
The gorilla was also being talked about at the same time, and they mean the same thing. So when we looked at them side by side, that really came down to like which one can convey the best powers, what gives you the right movement and visuals that you would need for the power set itself.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I was going to say, like,
is an elephant going to do splashes water?
Like,
oh no, I mean elephants are like, I mean I'm from South Asia, Mr. Lilly. Elephants being used as like literal weapons of war is a huge thing. Elephants can be scary as shit. One of my I guess like the one of the most important members of my family, my great grandfather, he got his job by literally saving a town from a rampaging elephant. He had to take on a rampaging elephant, and he nearly died. Dude, they're crazy, man. Holy shit. When they're angry. I mean, if they're trained and stuff, they're like super gentle, and you can ride them, and they'll like hold your babies and all kinds of shit. But they're very strong. They're extremely strong. I mean, freaking Hannibal had the army of elephants, for example. Archer towers on the back. Yeah, exactly. True. Yeah, exactly true. Exactly true. Polar Cat, thank you for the PM for that information. I appreciate that. Hell yeah, buddy. Also, we're going to close the giveaway. Join the giveaway. I want to call it in like now so we can at least see who wins and so on. Perfect. I appreciate it, Polar Cat. I'll check it out tomorrow for sure. It'll also be good because we'll be able to see like all the detailed information about the skills and everything. Where'd you get the information from, Polar Cat? Is it just like widely available now or what? Because like they only showed us like 3 abilities each for each like archetype. For Wumbo, indeed. Absolutely. All right, closing the giveaway. Let's see who wins. Last Chance Saloon, exclamation point, join for your chance at winning any game. Because it's going to be a very wide choice. There we go. Mr. Lilly, you won the giveaway, my friends. Hell yeah. DM and Riker? Okay, I got you, Polar Cat. Yeah. I did cover some Frosty LaRue vibes as well, Polar Cat, the past couple of videos on YouTube. So definitely check those out, my friend. I got a new one to put up as well. Hell yeah. 3 different game genres, any 3, and then we'll find you a game after this video is done. But yeah, you can put in the list anytime.
There's a lot of collaboration, and sometimes art will inform design, design will inform art. So I think this is a great spot where, like Brian was saying, like we're looking at a lot of different things, but like when you think about Nahantu, when you think about like the canopy of the jungle, and you start thinking about how does that protect what's in the jungle. Like the gorilla just made a lot of sense, like thematically. So like we start to find those moments, right? And you think about the centipede, it's like there's like the ground and the roots of the jungle, like what comes up, there's insects. So, we spent a lot of time like exploring that. But when you think about the gameplay connection, poisons, fears, right? The centipede.
Can Wumbo eat the other gods?
This like life and death kind of cycle they talked about, like the centipede makes a lot of
Good
sense.
night, Rach. We love
really
you.
start
Have
to
a
try
great
to
night.
connect the dots
Thank
in
you for
really
hopping on
interesting ways, and those are the ones that really stick.
Fictionally, the idea that these things are created based on human beliefs, we believe in more than 4 things, right?
Right.
So the idea that we could expand this out well beyond the class, we've developed more lore than you're actually going to see in the game for the Spiritborn, because we want this thing to live beyond just Diablo 4.
Awesome.
Okay.
I know we.
So you might
this
see
this one's a
Spiritborn
little bit
Diablo
for
5.
Bjorn. We'll test his skill knowledge here, but a question from Churney Fire was, does the echoing poison effect work on enemies not poisoned by you? Is there like a radius limit? Like how does it work specifically?
I love how everyone who plays this game are already thinking of ways to break the fucking game. We're all thinking of it.
Yeah, there's a small radius limit to it, but that can be extended through things like tempering and that sort of thing. It will do any poisoned enemies on the screen.
Oh, nice. That sounds crazy. So yeah. And then we have a question from Crawling Out of the Spiral. This one's a lore question specifically. Did Mephisto know about the veil between the Sanctuary and the Spirit Realm, and like the corruption within the jungles during Diablo 2? Like, was he able to sense it during that time? I know we had talked about
Mephisto.
Like,
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like
pure and like untouched place. So.
Yeah, we can definitely assume that Mephisto knew there was something there. When it comes to the lore of Nahantu, there are a lot of protection that happened during Mephisto's corruption. He wasn't able to break through the veil, so that is something that, that's why it's so dire now. But definitely he had this feeling for sure.
Question from Not MVP. How does the resource for the Spiritborn work? Do they generate it like passively, or how does that work specifically?
Sure. The Spirit.
If it's builders and spenders only, and like it's not like mana or whatever, that's an instant L. The fact that barbarians and druids have to build up before every single fight their well of resource energy is absolute dog shit design. You have to use the shitty abilities in order to use the cool ones. You can't start out with the cool one and then build it back up with the builders like you can with the other 3 classes. Let's see what they do.
Spiritborn's primary resource is called Vigor. It does not inherently recharge passively. You'll generate it by using your basic attacks. But sort of like the key with Spiritborn being very customizable, like one of the first choices that you'll be able to make in your tree with your basic attacks is you can sort of like customize like how you will build the spirit beyond that, whether it's like by poisoning enemies or by blocking damage, that sort of thing, to really like kind of make the resource work the way you want it to work. And then later on, there are also some uniques that will.
Why is this game trying so hard to make us use shitty basics? Why does it do that? There's no reason. No other ARPG that I play or I have played really makes that a major point. This is such a dumb idea. Like, I don't even know why they even had this with Barbarian and Druid. There's no reason for it. And we spend half of our time building a character that can use his basic as little as possible, usually, unless we're making a broken basic build, which is its own idiocy. And it's just, oh my god, man. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Every single class in Last Epoch, every single class regens mana, and it uses mana as its primary resource. It doesn't even name it anything else. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it's called. And then you're able to use your cool abilities, and then if you need to regen, then you can use some basics or whatever here and there, but you don't have to. You can take skills down the tree to pass it against stacks and resource naturally. Doesn't matter. Why make it a thing at all? Like, you have Rogue, which regenerates its energy super fast. You have Mage, or sorcerer, which regens its mana super fast. You have the necromancer, which regenerates its spirit. I think it's called spirit. Super fast. There's no reason. There's no reason to spend half your build making regen. That's what I mean. It acts like those. Yeah. But it acts like those after you use points and resources that other classes don't have to do. That's what I mean. And that's what happens with Barbarian and Druid, which are my two main classes that I played more than any other. So I know this extremely well, where you're basically spent... Necro doesn't regenerate essence? Are you sure? Do you actually not regenerate essence? Well, then it's dog shit for Necromancer as well. No, okay, I know what it is. Okay, so if Necromancer doesn't regenerate essence passively, then the thingy where you use corpses to regenerate essence is like a 1-point wonder that does it for you. Yeah, exactly, Remen. So yeah, I mean, okay, so you still have to use a skill to do it, but after you take that one skill, you never have to worry about it again. That's the thing. Why have that be a mechanic at all that several classes, 3 of them now, have to deal with, when it works so much better when you have the sorcerer and the rogue who doesn't have to worry about that shit at all? You can regenerate it after you use the cool abilities. That's fine. That's fine to have the basic abilities for that. But to do it at the beginning of every fight is so stupid, man. It's so stupid. Anyways, Monkey Ponky, my friend, welcome to stream. Welcome to the Koi Crew. It's a pleasure to have you in here. If you enjoy the vibes, drop a follow. We love to make new friends. We do giveaways every single night that we had 40 concurrent viewers. We love to play full variety, lots of ARPGs, lots of Diablo 4 goodness. I create YouTube content every morning as well. It's always a good time. So hop on in. Enjoy the good vibes. Spirit Boon has 6 skills that say passive and it builds. The Spirit Boon was different than the resource, though. The Spirit Boons are like, every time you run, you gain, like, crit strike and shit like that. That's what the Spirit Boons were. Yeah. I read the primaries. It didn't show the secondaries, but I read the primaries. But yeah. Anyways, we'll continue.
Will allow you to further customize.
I just think it's such a bad idea.
Influences the resource generation.
And everyone has been asking them to change this because no one likes to use the basic attacks to be able to use the fun abilities. It's dumb. It's bad design.
Awesome. I know people we just talked about.
And it holds the classes back so much for no reason.
Are the Spiritborn only using two-handed weapons for this class?
Yes.
Simple answer.
Yes. They are.
I got you. We'll see you tomorrow, Hammer Shark. We'll be on early tomorrow. Hop on.
Is there like a special quest for before you can actually start a Spiritborn or create a Spiritborn? Are there quests that are maybe specific to the class itself?
Yeah, well, we're going to definitely be introducing the class mechanic similarly to the way that we introduced it with the other classes.
Right, that makes sense.
As far as the beginning of the story is concerned, we really want to jump straight into continuing the chapter of hatred, right? Like what happened when Nayrel left. We want to jump right into it, get right back into the story, and so we're going to pick up from the perspective where Nayrel left off.
Awesome. That was a question from Magara. I forgot to throw out the name. I do want to give people shout outs when they do actually ask the names. The Grim Knot asks, does the Spiritborn have ties maybe with the Witch Doctor in any type of way from Diablo 3?
It feels like a mix of Witch Doctor Monk.
Not at all. When Brent is talking about creating something new, that's what we wanted to do with the Spiritborn. That also
I think the problem
really
is that they want the Diablo 3 route, making basic skills, mana generated skills. Yeah, if you're absolutely right, that's what they're trying to do, and I hate it. That's exactly what I'm saying. There's a reason Diablo 3 is my least played Diablo game out of the entire series. Absolutely, not even close. Completely agree with you. It's bad design.
In things that were familiar from
that's what I mean.
And just lore in general that we know
Diablo
about.
2 the most, yeah.
When it comes to the Spiritborn,
yeah, Diablo 2 the most for me. But I mean, I played Diablo 4 a lot.
They're very new.
So.
You get a chance to explore it in the
Diablo
game.
4 is catching up.
And you'll see that they're very different.
Awesome. Azeron Blood Moon asks, How much of is the monk inspired into this the gameplay of the Spirit?
It's literally monk and witch doctor mixed.
Born.
Yeah.
You know, it's we always look back and we can find like a lot of reference.
Oh, I got you. I still play it a big amount.
But I think when you play
it's
the
Jungle
class,
Monk,
you'll
yeah.
see it's
Jungle
extremely
Monk.
different.
It's Aztec Monk. Yeah.
It's so unique, it's so fresh, and it kind of carves its own space in our kind of lineup that after an inspirational...
Does it, though? Does it carve its own space? I don't know if it carves its own space. It's cool. I'm glad we have it. I wouldn't go that far, bro.
Point maybe of looking at like martial arts at just the core, it just kind of goes off in its own direction and kind of redefines that space.
We're gonna... Oh, sorry. Go
I
ahead.
definitely want to add to that. Is like I don't want to be shy about the fact that we know what works mechanically in the game, and so we're constantly looking at inspiration for the existing classes, for the new classes, on what works
from last Epoch. Yes, I know.
Best.
Yeah, we covered
that. Take that inspiration and then like take a right turn and
just put it in the game,
amplify it, or take it into
last Epoch is something cool. We're gonna stick it here. There you go. Yeah.
I know we have time for one more question. This is a question for everyone here. What is everyone's
again? Not that that's a bad thing.
Mine, which is Jaguar, but like, what is everyone's favorite Spirit Guardian here for the Spiritborn?
Wumbo.
And I can start. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna say 2. I love the Jaguar as well. But it's just a little bit too chaotic for me, inherently. And so I love to just like mix the Eagle in there as well, just for a little bit more control, a little bit more like freedom.
Fucking loser. Fucking dog shit loser. Didn't pick Wumbo.
Gorilla. I mean...
Giga Chad. Look at that. Look at this Giga Chad. Look at him sit down with his like... I was going to talk about his shoes. I can't do it. But a true Wumbo enjoyer. A true Wumbo enjoyer deserves our respect.
When I saw it show up on screen,
return to monk.
Chest, and it was just awesome.
Exactly.
Like, that's it.
Disregard humanity. Like return to monk.
We talk about wrestling all the time. I'm not surprised Nick is about like the gorilla. Not surprised.
My favorite guardians are Quatli, the eagle, and Balazon, the centipede. I just love the poison, and it's sick.
Well, honey, no one's perfect.
Like, it looks crazy.
Yeah, for me, Jaguar. Like it started with that iconic piece. Yeah.
Bro. What? We only have one Wumbo enjoyer?
Sorry, we're gonna have to share a little bit.
Hold on a second.
But like the movement,
fucking
it's
crazy.
such a pace changer for the game. Like once you get into it, it's got a very addictive flow.
Do you mean Capoeira?
I'm rolling on the Jaguar.
Do you mean the acrobatic one?
Favorite Spirit Guardians. I do want to thank you all for jumping in for this Q&A. Before we do close out the stream, we did want to let everyone know that we'll be sharing more about Vessel of Hatred at Gamescom this year on August 20th.
Yeah, Capoeira.
But you'll actually have a chance to attend Gamescom yourself and play the Spiritborn in person. We're actually sending 5 lucky players to Cologne, Germany to play the Spiritborn at our Gamescom booth in person.
I got you.
Make sure to check out our Instagram really at Play Diablo and read our blog for full details on the contest after the show. Everyone on the Diablo team is incredibly excited for you to check out the new class coming with Vessel of Hatred on.
I was memeing them, especially at the end, about Wumbo and everything like that, but they did a great job. Spirit Guardian looks great. I'll definitely play it. I'll definitely play a Wumbo build. I'll definitely try to break the character as well, because I feel like you can do something dumb where you go, passive 1 Wumbo, passive 2 Wumbo, so you're like giga tanky, and then you just go full mobility with all the eagle skills. It seems like that is definitely a distinct possibility, so we'll definitely try that as well. But definitely am sad that it's not a freaking Crusader or Paladin as well. But I'm very glad that we got what we got. I'm excited. Definitely will be playing it. Definitely will be catching it and sharing it in the lovely YouTube. So if you guys are watching this from YouTube, give this video a like, give it a sub, share it with your friends. I tried to give you guys a long and deep breakdown of all the information, at least from my end, from someone who's played ARPGs since the very beginning. And we have a lot of fun. Absolutely. Thank you so much for enjoying the good content. If you want more, let me know. And let me know what your favorite Spirit Guardian is in the comments below. Absolutely. I will be choosing Wumbo, but if you guys like the Jaguar, let me know. If you guys like the Centipede, let me know. If you guys like the electric burb, let me know. I'll call you dog shit if you don't pick Wombo, but only out of love. There you go.